So in the last episode, we talked about our parents getting old and then how we honor them and all that. The question that I wanted to ask is, are we afraid of aging?
You're listening to
Jom Sembang, Malaysia. So yeah, Miss Juwita, what are your biggest concern or fear as you age?
all this time, personally, I haven't really considered, you know how some people like, wow, younger you're so much better. For me, it's like as I get on with life, things.
Older years are better.
I mean, I enjoy the season I am in lah. So, okay, so I've not really thought about, wow, whether I'll be sick, whether I'll be losing my memory, because my memory is also not very good anyway. But I suppose there would be things that I would be concerned about. Maybe like, I have been concerned about before, right now, not lah. Like finances. Would I age into a, last time people got this stereotype lah.
Okay.
They call spinster
Okay.
like
Yeah.
single women who don't get married must be something wrong with them one.
And then cat one.
What? And then they become like a certain kind of people one, which is that kind of person one lah. So I used to oh, will I turn into that kind of person lah? But I don't know. I don't really think about it now. But we can definitely explore more on this topic.
So one of the interesting things you talk about is finance. Considering that you are so-called working for yourself, right?
Yes.
And I'm also working for myself, right? So when we're younger, it's like, it's okay lah. The worst, I don't have money, I just go and, for me lah, if I don't have a job and I need to pay bills, I just go as a cashier at Giant or something and just pay bills. I'm like that kind of very simple, minimalist person. But as I was getting older, right, I'm thinking, who's going to hire a 60-year-old lady to be a cashier who might be slower and who don't know how to use e-wallet and stuff like that?
You move to Singapore lah.
I might not even get a job, Yeah, so I started to get a bit concerned about financial needs as I going old because it's getting expensive to
Be
grow
old?
old. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I said that I used to think about it, but not anymore, is because you know how people would say, if you want to retire comfortably, you need to have at least
A certain amount of money.
say $1 million or whatever lah. Okay, maybe not 1 million. Maybe I don't know. And then they said that also haven't count inflation yet.
Correct.
Right? So they give you this astronomical,
Figure.
what's that?
Some.
Astronomical figure. And then they say even that might not be enough.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, why go and stress myself out to achieve this astronomical figure that might not even be enough? Then why don't I just live life like I think is right? Not irresponsibly, like, I don't spend very much
She's
unnecessarily.
quite a thrifty person.
Yeah, so I mean, save what I can, spend where I feel led to spend or I feel needs to be spent.
I think it's a bit easier
yeah.
for you because you own a house. If
Yeah.
anything, you just die in the house.
Yes.
There's some people like me who don't own a house, who
Correct.
don't rent a place. We're worried
Yeah.
about where we're going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has actually told me that before.
So yeah, but it's not something that it didn't come from like out of the air, There are older generation nowadays that the children throw them here, left, right, center, and then go to the center and stay and all that. Hey, I don't want to end up in that position. Is what I'm concerned about. Like one of the
Okay.
things that we should think about. But that itself has the thing about whether you have family or not is one thing.
Yeah.
Secondly, whether you have financial to actually move around and centers are not cheap.
They are not cheap. I was going to say that actually there's nothing wrong with staying in a center.
Yeah.
Because it actually can be. I mean, okay lah. You have seen those that really look very sad one, like you walk in and you already feel sad. But sometimes it's also an external perception. I've been into a place that initially felt sad, but actually when I stepped in there and stayed for about half an hour, it's actually quite a loving place,
Okay.
It's just in my mind, it looks sad. But again lah, it's whether you can afford that or not lah. And I do wonder if I couldn't earn an income, how I earn income now, what would I do? So I thought about, I'll go find a job in a bookshop. It's
Okay.
my favorite place on earth, right? And are there ways that we can earn passive income? So being in the artistic line, that's a higher possibility. So I have actually thought, hey, if I just keep on doing more music, right?
More royalties.
More royalties. Hopefully, Dai also, at least they play a few times in a year. Got a little bit pocket money can go Starbucks once in a year.
True. One of the things that I envision growing old is gathering all my friends who maybe are singles and then putting all of us in the house and then each one have your own room and then we just do our own thing, but we have a share space of living room, share space of kitchen and stuff like that. Because I realized some of my friends like to do things that I don't like to do and vice versa. So for example, like I like to cook. My friend don't like to cook.
Like me.
So I just cook lor, then you just eat lor. I solve one of your problem because as you are growing old and then you're living alone, you need to do everything. But you might not like everything. Like I have a friend who like cleaning.
Right.
Okay. I enjoy cleaning, but she's like the crystal clean one, okay?
Yeah.
So I can imagine if I'm old and then you just make sure the shared space is clean, I will cook. It will work well for both.
So communal living lah. And then the people who cannot eat one, then I go and eat lor.
Yeah, but it's not really like a center, It's like
It's just,
you choose your own housemate kind of community
yeah.
going all together, that kind of that would be my so-called vision lah.
Okay, so I have a question, right? If now I think of this concept, I can think of a lot of friends single friends, right?
Okay.
Who could be in that position to stay together. Okay, whether we get along or not is a question for another day, right?
Yeah, you should actually test it out as you are preparing to go.
Yes, correct. Go travel together.
Yes, please.
But I could think of quite a few candidates already now, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6. So even if 50% blacklisted already, okay lah, not blacklisted, but tak ngam, right? So there's still at least 3, which is quite a nice, in a 3-room apartment or a house or whatever. But why hasn't it been done before? Do you have friends, elderly friends, who are actually doing this, or is it not a thing?
Not a thing for their generation, I feel. Their generation is like, it's not a concept that they have. It's not something they think about. Like for me, I think I probably think about it because as I'm going to adopt, rent house together cheaper when you rent. And then from there, it starts, there's a root to it. There's a basic foundation.
Yeah.
Compared to before, they don't do stuff like that.
I think so, isn't it? And I mean, okay, so now I have a lot of friends who have besties, right? Guys and girls. And to think about it, if they age together and they end up doing this together thing, it would totally work out. Yeah. And I'm just wondering, why in our parents' generation, is it because they never had these kind of
exposure,
close friendships, or I don't know?
Close friendship, maybe. Might have to do with the kind of relationship they have, number one. Number two is the idea of it. The idea of it is not something that is in the
vocabulary of relationships.
Because I think back then, if you say, hey, I'm moving in my friends, rarely happen lah. If you ask them, right, it's always like, I go to KL, I find my uncle and stay. It's not I go KL, I find my friend and stay. It's not. If you have family, it's always family first. Compared to now, it's like, I don't want to leave my family. Like if my cousin or my nephews or like, if I'm moving somewhere, I don't want to. Yeah, I just want to leave my friends. I don't want to leave my family. Totally different school of thoughts right now. Yeah.
Very interesting.
So yeah, let's take a break. When we come back, we talk about, as you grow old, right, all kind of characters and personality comes out. So yeah, let's talk about that.
So this episode, actually all the episodes are powered by Gina Yaplayung and Juwita Suito.
Like that also can.
And we come up with topics on the fly, sometimes on car rides, or Gina has this list that she will compile. But if you have something that you would like us to chat about, it could be a paise question that you don't want to ask other people. But I think we're quite cool to talk about stuff, right? I mean, we've talked about toilets lah, whatever lah, money lah. Drop us a note and we will be happy to sembang about it for you.
So yeah, audio notes on Anchor or just email also boleh lah.
Okay lah.
Okay, back to the episode. So I don't know about you. My family, we travel together fine. And then we have this clan like, brother, sister for my parents. And when they travel together, a lot of drama one.
Okay.
Okay. And then some of this drama is like, 10 years ago, not like that one. Why now like that one? So for example, I have this uncle who's very grumpy one. In general, he wasn't grumpy to begin with.
Don't we all have a grumpy uncle?
So he's like a person who's in control when he was younger. So as he got older, I think for me, my observation, he's losing control. So he gets grumpy to make up for it.
Okay.
So what he does is, everywhere he goes, he's like, why this place like this one? Why this one like this one? Why the food like this one? Hey, where's my chopstick? You should know to give me chopstick. I must ask, man. And it just makes the entire trip a bit like mood spoiler.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
but the fact
I totally feel you.
He wasn't like that until he got older. And then people like me and my siblings will be like, when I grow old, I hope I don't become like that.
Yeah. Do you think as we age that our expectations get bigger, higher? Or is it more of a mode? You know how, right? Okay, these things are, if you get into a negative mode vibe, it kind of spirals, because you wake up already not very happy. Then every slightest thing, right, just makes you more and more upset. Like,
correct.
Why this one? Why he never give me serviette today? Or why the food cold? Okay lah, cold is
I think my question was more of, do we feel more entitled just because we have lived life?
So that's yeah.
Or it's because we feel out of control now that we are not somebody. Like we're not CEO, we are retired. Therefore, nobody respecting me. Why are things different when I was like, is it an insecurity issue or
is it
hormones?
Okay. Or is it entitled? Not say entitlement, but because you've experienced better. Okay, so example, I like nasi lemak, right? When I was young, nasi lemak was a nasi lemak. But then as I'm growing older, I know like, nasi lemak a lot of calories. So I know more. I've tasted nicer nasi lemak. So I expect my benchmark quality for nasi lemak dia naik sikit lah.
Maybe.
Okay, if you give me a nasi lemak yang tak lemak, cili tak best, it will be like wasting my calories, wasting my meal. I could have had, wasting my money also. So you have all these kind of other things added to the mix of what you expect from a nasi lemak, which now is a lot higher lah, to expectation. Could it be that as well?
But would it be, okay, I might be wrong. We might be, just let it pass lah this time. But then how come people as they go older, they don't let it pass? I'm like, beginning the question, will I ever reach the stage where I don't let things pass?
Okay, I'm older than you lah, so maybe I had a bit more experience in this one.
Wisdom, come on.
I've had days, right, where it's really like that, no? It's like, and you're right, there is that thing about whether I want to let it pass or whether I want to harp on it. And it really is a choice, I think. If very salty today's pan mee. Why got so much the kiam chai too salty or whatever lah. And then as I'm going and as I keep on thinking about it, it gets not nicer and not nicer and not nicer. Like, this and that. The pan mee wasted. Waste spoil my whole day. Like, after this. It's like you go down on this trend. Or I could just, I don't know, wash the palate lah, drink the tea, drink the soup, just whatever lah, and not put so much expectation, or put so much attention, what's the word weight on that one bowl of noodles, because it's just one bowl of noodles. Why should I give it the authority and that power to ruin my day?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a choice, right? I think.
I hope it's a choice. I hope it's not hormones. Or growing old, you have Indians don't know what in your body. But I just look at, like, for example, like the senior folks. Like when I see, I'll be honest, Mom, don't get offended. Mom has been a little bit more naggy than usual the last 5 years. And it reached a point where I just go like, and it's repeated. So it reached a point where, is it because aging? You can't remember you said it? Or it's because you got nothing to say, then you repeat saying it? Or is it because you don't trust us anymore, so you keep repeating the same instruction when I'm not even given a chance to execute that instruction?
All right.
And I said, when I grow old, I don't want to be like that. What are the ways that we are taking to prevent that? I'm always thinking of ways to prevent the senior folks. I said, like that, I don't want to be like that, I don't want to be. I want to prevent,
That's interesting because actually my mom does the same thing. And it gets more I don't remember it being so ketara when she was younger. Sometimes I think it's because there are lesser things for them to worry about.
Maybe
You
that's
know?
why they keep harping on the same thing.
Yeah. Because I always think when I get asked these questions, I'm like, got so many other things to worry about. Like, of course, I'm thinking about my to-do list, right? Like 1 to 10, haven't even think about it. Why do I really care about tomorrow's
Because she
dinner?
don't have to-do list.
Yeah. So sometimes I think, maybe I should get her involved in more things that her mind would be more occupied. And it's something that I'm still thinking about now, How do we keep our parents engaged as they age? Because actually, right, there's still a lot to give, There's still a lot
Correct.
of skills, a lot of experience,
Yes.
a lot of wisdom. How do we channel that positively? I mean, whether it's for myself lah or our parents, right? How do we channel that positively so that it's not a naggy kind of channeling?
I think we should switch the podcast episode to not how are we afraid of aging, but how do you manage aging parents?
But it's not related, isn't it? I think we watch and then we're like, mental note about how would we not do this for ourselves.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also thinking like, okay, if I need to keep my parents occupied so that they don't harp on me or whatever, then how do I keep myself occupied
Exactly.
when I'm older? So I'm like really like, how's it, prevention?
Yes. Okay, so I have some tips for you.
Okay.
Okay, number 1, Wache. Have interests, plural, other than your work.
Okay.
Okay, because if your work is your entire life and everything that you think about is related to your work, once you are not working, then you really have nothing else to
Don't know what to do with yourself.
interest you. Unless you can find a hobby, but I think it's more difficult at that point of time,
To
because there's
develop.
less interest, there's less energy.
Correct.
Whereas, hey, if you have a hobby that you've never had time to indulge in, right? But you really, really are passionate about that, then you retire. That is the time that it can take off.
So do your foundation now lah.
Prepare
so that
dulu
when you grow
prepare
old,
to
you go at
interest.
once.
Betul.
Okay. Tip 2.
Tip 2 have friends.
Have friends to grow old with. I find
Yeah.
that we have lesser friends or less deep friends as we grow old.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Because
after that you end up grow old, so you always find yourself alone.
because everybody goes on their own paths, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think having that regular friendship is very important lah. So for me, like there's maybe 1 or 2 groups that is, we are in this part of our life where everything is going on and we feel like we cannot work together. But we're just trying to really keep it because, as you grow old, you need to have a group of friends that you can call.
Yes.
So,
True.
yeah.
Tip number 3.
I don't know. You're the one who said you have 3 tips, not me.
Listen to podcasts.
I think for me, it's really to stay as healthy as possible.
Okay.
Or rather, have a, for me lah, I want to envision a part, okay, I need to learn how to do certain things on my own and stuff like that. To be independent yet dependent is what I'm trying to achieve.
Wow, so deep. Please
So-
define a little bit more.
So it's like I can do things on my own,
Mm.
but yet I can depend on someone to do it with me. So that if anything happens, right, then I can still do it lah. So for example, forever learning how to pay your bills instead of relying on someone else to pay your bills like parents or whatever, which some of my friends until today, right, I think they never realize that paying bills is something important. So during the pandemic, suddenly the parents cannot go to post office pay. Then they say, pay bills is how one? And then I'm like, hey, you're 30 plus really leh. So things that we take for granted, that maybe our parents have been doing for us or whatever, something that we should actively start doing now. So that when we grow old, you really know how to do lah, and not reach that point like, all this thing how one ah.
Right. So, okay. So I think all that actually does fall into what you said about stay healthy. I think when we say healthy, right, we always think about physical health, but I've known people who are the fittest people on earth and something happens beyond their control. And in fact, they get even more upset because I work so hard to keep myself fit, look so good, and then I never smoke a day in my life and then get lung cancer. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So stay healthy, yes, as much as you can physically, but stay healthy in your
Mind.
Keep on learning, which is why I said podcast lah. Listen, I think there's a difference, right? Listening to music stimulates your mind, stimulates your emotion. Listening to, watching a movie is entertainment. It
Yep.
also stimulates emotion. But I find personally that listening to podcasts, because it's people talking about a certain topic in quite a lot of depth, right? It really stimulates my thinking, my mind. So in that sense, stay healthy in the mind as well. Lah. And then your emotion also stay healthy. Lor. Wow.
So one last tip I'll give is I practice being present.
Ooh.
Because I find a lot of the senior people I meet, they are like floating or here or there. It's like, so I want to practice being present all the time so that as I grow old, I'm always conscious of what I'm doing or not doing.
Ah, yes.
So that I'm aware if I'm getting grumpy or I'm aware if I'm forgetting things and not suddenly wake up and be in denial that I'm forgetting things because I'm present enough to know the gradual change or whatever. So for me, being present is something that I'm trying to practice as I grow older.
Okay lah. I give you permission lah to tell me, right, if I aging a little bit more and then I am like getting a bit weird, right?
Okay lah, accountability is also very important. So don't grow old on your own, okay? Find a friend.
Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by two Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff.
Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Juwita Suwito and Gina Yap Layong.
Today's episode is recorded at Studio 2105.
Remember to click like and subscribe for the brand new episode next week.